All right, so let's talk about raising funds here on day 5 at Note Conference or other conferences. All right, and we all can agree, we talked about this last night a little bit, that networking has changed a lot in the last year and a half. And the same thing has gone for conferences. They've been changing for years. And a couple years ago, we stopped really doing, workshops live in person by really respecting the virtual side and trying to respect people's time, energy, and money in doing them virtually. Now, if other conferences they didn't go have a virtual route, they're out of business and may not return. You have to really understand that there's still a lot of opportunity in attending conferences, but you don't necessarily have to pay the ticket, have to show up, have to spend time in front of your computer, or fly out to the places. There are ways that we are leveraging technology and some cool things to help us raise capital, connect with people by not attending an event. Okay. We now know, obviously, that almost every event has a Zoom opportunity or virtual event side of things. So you have to embrace this. Yes, I know a lot of us are tired of Zoom calls. We're Zoom fatigued, as they say it, tired of sitting in front of your computer. But the more you can have interaction and the more you can maximize and make the best use of your time, the better off we see. Now, one of the things that we got creative was that we got tired of going to conferences and seeing the same people speaking. I mean, it would be the same lineup, the same attorneys, the same note people, including yourself. Myself, I was like, no, look, it's the same lineup. I just spoke. I would love to, but I want to make the best use of my time as well as those that are attending. Now, here's a couple tricks. If you're looking at attending events here in the next few months, or in the next year or two, reach out to whoever's promoting the event. Say, hey, what are the keywords or what's the hashtag that you use in the event, like Note Expo or Note Camp we use for our mid-year event, or IMN or TCL, whatever they're using, what's their hashtag or keyword they're using in their social they're using. Now, I like to go back when I see an event going on. I have every major conference on a calendar for me, on a schedule. And we look to see, okay, is it virtual? Is it in person? If it's in person, what hotel are they going to be at? And what's the 1 or 2 keywords that they're using? And what we do is I'll have my VA the week or the weekend of, the days of, or the day after the event, and they'll go online and start tracking people that have posted the social media posts, and she will connect with them. Okay. Now, some cases, like IMN.com was notorious for listing the attendee list. IMN.com, they do their information management network. They do their big non-performing distressed debt conference in Boca Raton, Florida. They've done it virtually this year. The last couple of years, they would list the names, the company, and the job title that are RSVP'd. And I just laughed. I'm like, thank you. I don't need to attend now, because now I can take that job title and a company name and just put it in LinkedIn and find out who the heck the person was, save on a $1,500 ticket, save on a $200 hotel bill per night, save on food. I could sleep in my own house, and I could just literally hire my VA to go online and connect with the 200 or 300 people that you're advertising. It worked really every time. Now, some of the other things that I've done to raise capital is I'm paid to be a sponsor of a real estate investment club or a meetup group or another conference. I don't mind being a sponsor as long as I get the best bang for my buck. Now, I'm not going to pay 10 grand to be the head sponsor. If it's a free event, it's a free event. It doesn't make any sense unless they're going to give me the database. Now, if they're not going to give me the database, then I'll look at what's it cost to be a booth sponsor or a breakout sponsor or a lunch break or happy hour or coffee break. As long as I get it to either speak, or I can get a list of people, or I can have some flyers there. All right. If I can get, also what I like to ask is, listen, if I'm not able to speak, can I have an email blast? Will you allow me to send an email blast out to the full attendee list either before, during, or after the event? Okay. And a lot of times they can throw this in for free for $500 or something like that, or we'll do a Zoom call or a webinar afterwards. Okay. Now, I'd like to get speaking sessions. Okay. A lot of events are bringing on people that want to just give content. That's totally fine. I'm glad to give content. But if I'm doing a speaking session, I'm going to make sure and have some sort of opt-in that I'm offering up. Like texting something, or give your business. I'm gonna give a giveaway. So give me your business card. One of the things that revolutionized my business early on is about, it's about 2014, 2012, I was speaking in Las Vegas at the Noteworthy Convention. At 800 people at it. And I had a breakout room, and it was just content. I wasn't offering up anything for sale. I was just talking about some of the biggest mistakes that C-note investors make. And I had a giveaway, and I had everybody throw their business cards into a bag, okay? Well, I had 200 people give me their business cards. And then I also commented on a couple other things about marketing and things, and I had a bunch of people give me the card. Those, I basically, end of the weekend, I accumulated about 400 business cards. I'm not joking. Between the vendors, between the people that were there, and that became a really nice thing. Now, the most valuable thing was the people that gave me their business card in my breakout session, because they were there to hear me speak. I gave away, I don't know, it was a $100 thing, maybe as a class, but I made a whole lot more than that, because I know those people were in there to talk about funding deals or closing on note deals. So I knew that they were all investors, okay? Now, one of the things that I've embraced a lot more these days, and I use this to raise a lot of capital, is opt-ins. And every one of you guys could get an opt-in, like a text message opt-in. Now, like if you could use easy texting or Mobit, one of the things that I've used for years, every time I go speak in front of an audience at a RIA club, a meetup group, or things like that, I'll offer and say, hey guys, if you'd like to, if you just pull out your smartphone and text the word notes to 72,000, I encourage you all to do that. I'll send you over 80 hours of videos in my slides that I'm talking about, okay? And so I'll usually get somewhere between 25, 35, I've had as much as 50% of the room text notes to 72,000. And once they text notes, I have their phone number, their name, and their email address. And I know, depending on what they texted in, I know they're looking for deals, okay? And their potential funding sources. So these days in the world of virtual stuff, you've probably seen this happening in other ones. Text the word notes, text the word deals, text the word funds, text, whatever, text the word book to 47, 47, 47, whatever it might be, okay? Text the word notes to 47, 47, 47 is another one I use, okay? And then I'll send you some information. Not every phone service allows this, but this is still something you have to use. Now, I like using this with the social stuff is I'll go back to people that tag something, let's say Note Expo, and follow them. And then I'll send a message, hey, saw that you're Note Expo. I'm also a note investor. Tell me what you're looking for. Or, hey, here's my free ebook. Give me your email and I'll send you my free ebook on note investing. Something to get people to opt in, all right? It's not hard to do. You just have to do it. And yes, is it free? No. Does it cost some money? Yeah, it can cost you a little bit of money from time to time, but not too much. You just have to do it on a regular basis. Or you send them to a page like Lead Pages or an opt-in page or something like that to give something valuable in exchange for their email at the minimum, okay? Now, there are events that I love to raise capital at, and I'm going to share this with you. Now, another thing that I like to do is I will always look at the lineup. And I want to make sure that if I'm going to look at events, I want to look at events that have more than 100 people. And I'm going to look at events that have a speaker lineup that's something that's going to have some people in there, okay? Terry Marlane said, which phone service support opt-in text? I know T-Mobile does, Sprint. I think AT&T is the one that doesn't in a lot of cases. You have to enable it on your phone, Terry, okay? But some people say, oh, it didn't go through. Well, then they can go to a website. I'll give them a website otherwise and put it on there. But anyway. So I want to be around events that are going to have at least more than 100 people. And here's the thing. When you look at your speaker lineup, look at and talk to the promoters, because promoters will lie about attendance. If you see, we're going to have over 100 people, and you see they got 50 speakers, I'm like, well, hopefully you have at least triple to quadruple your speaker lineup, because then it gets valuable. Last thing you want to do is go to an event where there's 100 people and 58 of them or 60 of them are all vendors there, and you're one of 40 people. I've been there. Okay, that's not a fun. I've been to an event in San Francisco that was supposed to have 500 people that had 28 people. Okay, and I had to get creative when I was speaking. I did a Facebook Live and live streamed it that way to my presentation, and actually I got more people opting in off my presentation from Facebook than I did that were actually in the audience. Okay, not hard to do. Okay, but anyway, big events. Here's the thing: instead of you buying the ticket and taking time away from your family, you can actually geo-target people within 2 miles of the hotel. This is if it's a live event, okay? So like, let's say it's taking place in Phoenix, like the Noteworthy Summit this year. It was taking place in Phoenix, and they had another one that take place in Orlando, I believe. Or anyway, the one in Phoenix, I know the dates. I found out the hotel because it says it on the website, the dates in the hotel. So what I do is I go and I'll pay $20 per day to run an Instagram image on Facebook and Instagram with something that's going to be very attractive to people attending. And I can make it, what's so beautiful about Instagram is I say, okay, here within 2 miles of this address, and put the address of the hotel, and I'll run an ad for 5, 10, 20 hours a day from the day before the event through the Sunday or the last day of the event. And I'll get people to opt in. Hey, here, follow my podcast, or hey, check out this deal, or hey, you're looking to raise capital, we'll fund deal, a whole whatever is going to be hot and attract attention to those that are attending. And I only do it within 2 miles because a lot of people will stay with friends or hotels around the location. Anything out besides 2 miles is too much. Now, I actually did this as well. I ran a real estate ad around the playoff game for the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. I ran around 5 miles around Toyota Stadium in Houston. I got a bunch of people that opted in to my thing, but they weren't all really good stuff. There was some good ones, but that's the beautiful thing is if there's a location or something that's drawing fans, a concert, a race, or something like that, look at what's going on in your community and mess around with it. $20 for 2 days, that's $40. That's a whole lot cheaper than most tickets and everything airfare. And I do this. They can run multiple things per day on different events across the country, and it leads to a lot of creative opt-ins. Now, if you're looking for specific conferences, you've got Eddie's Note Expo. You get IMN conference taking place when they do live, usually out in Florida. Noteworthy is in Phoenix, and I think in Orlando as well. Paper Source is out in Vegas. You can't do it for Note Camp because Note Camp is not it's not an in-person event. It's a virtual event. So this won't work for virtual. Now, what would work for virtual is look and see who tags, what tags are they using, and to follow those tags on the socials, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and Twitter, and then follow those people. Okay, now real estate. Real estate's a great thing to look at. You look at some of the bigger firms. Here in Austin, Texas is the home of Keller Williams. So they have their family reunion everywhere. So always keep track of where they're going to host their family reunion. National Association of Realtors always has a big conference, either in different parts of the country. The 5-Star Convention, which is put on by DS News, is in Dallas here in a couple months. The Mortgage Bankers Association, National MBA, was in Austin here last year. The Western Secondary Market is often happening in San Francisco or Vegas. You can also look at like Pitbull Hard Money Conference. They'll have 100, 200, and they rotate 2 or 3 times a year. So find out what hotel or location they're going to be at, and then geo-target people with the interest of real estate within 1 mile or 2 miles of that location. And then if they're on their Instagram account within a couple miles of that location, when it pops up, or Facebook, your ad will show up, and it's a really cheap ad to run. One of the best things that I love about this is we went to Hawaii a couple years ago, and we're sitting in a hotel, and I'm on Instagram just flipping through some things, waiting to head out, and up popped this restaurant. This old resort or this old plantation restaurant in Maui. I'm like, wow, that looks great, that food. So I literally clicked on the link and was able to book a reservation right there and opt in. I was like, this is great. I got to do more of this. And that's one thing that I've been using. This can be, like I said, this can save you a lot of money. You can run these ads while you're out doing stuff at your own without having to attend and show up. Okay. Now, yes, nothing beats showing up in Preston Palms and Flesh, but if you can't do that, can't afford a sponsorship of 500 or 1,000 or $5,000, then $20 per day or $10 per day are a much bigger thing for some quality people. Now, if there's other marketing conventions that we do a lot of stuff to connect with other people in the podcasting range or other stuff, and you look at the Traffic and Conversion Summit that takes place in San Diego the last couple of years, Funnel Hacking Live is a big thing by ClickFunnels that's taking place in Nashville here in a few months. Podcast Movement, that's also taking place in Nashville here this year. It took place in Dallas last year. Podfest takes place in Orlando every February when it's an in-person event versus virtual. So I run specific things for each of these events throughout the year without attending, without taking time away from my schedule. And my budget, like I said, it could be $1 a day, $5 a day, $20 a day. It varies, but it's a very effective use of my time and money. And most importantly, I get to do what I want to do instead of hanging out. Okay. Questions about this? Pretty easy to set up. If you Google geo-targeting with Instagram, geo-targeting with Facebook, there's videos out there to help set you up in doing this. It's such a simple thing, but it's just absolutely brilliant to target the right type of people. And the idea here is once you get them to opt in, if they click on your link or they subscribe to your whatever you're providing, it's a pretty easy play like you with anybody else. Okay. We send out a hello email. We'll connect with them on social. Okay. Hey, thanks for opting in. Here's your free report, or here's a presentation, or here's my list, whatever we provide. Okay. We send out a hello email and we connect with them on social. Okay. I add them to our newsletter or weekly email blast for Note Night in America, because Note Night in America is often one of the things that we're advertising for people to join straight to the Zoom link. All right. We'll often do a deal of the day, deal of the week, deal of the month. You guys could all do the same thing. Do a case study of the day, case of the week, case of the month, whatever it might be. Case study videos. Hey, check out our most recent case study on this deal. I like to make them opt in before I send them the link to the case study. Whatever you're doing, once they opt in, you get their name and email and or phone number, put them into your drip marketing, your weekly emails that go out. If they unsubscribe, they unsubscribe. But guess what? If you say hello, you add value to their lives. They're not going to unsubscribe until you start wasting their time. Okay. And if you really want them to stay, just pick up the phone and call them individually. That's still the number one thing to get them to stick around. Pick up the phone and and be not just act, but be genuinely interested. Hey, what are you looking for? What are you trying to do? Tell me about yourself. Just have a conversation. And if you get one person that opts in from an event over a weekend, guess what? That one person is well worth it if you spent $50 or $100. The financial side, there are companies out there that are paying $51 a lead for clickbait and stuff like that. You don't have to spend that much. I don't do any Google keywords. I do this geo-targeting opt-in stuff, and it works really, really well. It's basically selling yourself without having to do the selling. And these people, they get to know you. They like and trust you. They follow you along. They're probably not going to fund anything immediately. But if you stick with them and continue to feed them good information and educate them what you're doing and build rapport that way, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is going to be some of the easiest private money you've ever raised. Okay? Because eventually, like, hey, I like what you're doing. I like your deal. Hey, do you have anything you're looking to fund? Hey, I got some money for my IRA or my 401k that I need to roll over. What can I do? All right? And the thing that you have to realize, I'm going to throw this stat up here, guys, is it's going to take connections. It takes time. 80% of sales, and you're selling your deals, selling yourself, are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So don't be afraid to connect with people, to touch base with them, not just in one post, but hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Let's connect. Let's talk. Here's my website, whatever. Raising funds is all more so about marketing yourself and what you're doing. If you're not marketing, you're not really in business, ladies and gentlemen. And you can do this with a full-time or part-time job. It does not mean you have to do it. And you can set up this drip marketing stuff very easily without having to take time off from your schedule. Okay. Instead of taking time off to fly to a conference, take a time off and sit on the couch, enjoy it, watch some games, let your Instagram work for you. Okay. So what questions, comments, concerns do you guys have? Hopefully this was valuable for you. I know it was for some of you guys out here. All right. Geo marketing. Look, I don't use hardly Instagram for much else besides that. All right. It's just a valuable thing for you. It is ingenious because you might as well use a technology. You're in the 21st century, David, and everybody else out here. And Scotty is here to beam me up. And I'm giving her all she's got, Captain, to bring you into the 21st century, showing you easy ways to find deals and to fund things. It's not difficult. If you just know how to use the tools, this is what we've done for the last 13 years, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we love so much what we're doing now. And once again, guys, we've had a good week so far. I think you guys have gotten some great nuggets out of the first 5 days. We have a lot to cover over the next couple of weeks on different ways that we're using, different ways and tools that we're using to fund transactions, to find funding. And some of these things, you'll just be like, oh my God, that's a genius. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on this. Get signed up for a gold or a VIP pass tonight. That way you're ready to rock and roll here in a couple of days when less than day 6 through 20 come rolling out. You don't want to miss anything when it comes to that. Okay. Terry asked a good question. Can you recommend a good source on the mechanics for using Instagram and Facebook geo-targeting? Here's what I would do, Terry. Great question. I would do one of two things. I would follow a lady by the name of Stephanie Lahart. She's a friend of mine out of LA. She runs a thing called Boomtown Marketing. Stephanie Lahart, Stefanie. She's done a couple of videos on this. This is how I learned it a couple of years ago, was from Stephanie. But I would also, there's a lot of social media experts out there. So if you Google, literally run a search, Google, if you run a search for Instagram geo-targeting, geo-advertising on Instagram or Facebook, you'll find a ton of videos and a lot of great and mechanics for doing it on an individual basis. Okay. It's so freaking easy. Okay. So anyway, guys, like I said, get signed up. Love to have you on here the next few weeks. $99 for gold access or $299 for VIP option. Once again, so you see what the difference is. You'll be able to, if you're in the gold access, hey, you'll be able to stick in the Facebook group, We'll have the Friday recap calls going forward. You'll have access to all 20 days, and it's supposed to be replays to all 20 days, not 30 days. With the $299 VIP, you get live in the Zoom calls. We get slides, transcripts to the calls coming to you. We're actually going to do a one-day VIP class on this stuff with you guys after the 20 days. So it's a chance for you to get caught up. We'll spend a time on these, both half the day on funding, half the day on finding, and do a recap there for you guys. We also get the sample forms we're using on things we're talking about, and then you get 3 special bonuses worth $1,000. With the first bonus, drum roll, first post, being a ticket to our virtual workshop taking place to 26th to the 20th. It's our 3-day workshop. I know some of you guys have taken it before. It's normally $5.99 per person there for you guys. That's the first bonus we're throwing in there for you. Okay. The VIP class is the second bonus there. Normally $5, for a special class that's on that as well too for you. Got a couple more coming, and we'll roll those out as we share this stuff. But guys, take advantage. Go to 5daynotes.com. Get signed up directly for the class. Okay. Stephen, Carmen, if you are a WCN member currently, yeah, it's already included for you. Okay. So good to have you be a part of it. Question here. So Friday recap call. So what we'll be doing Friday going forward on those is, I know you guys probably can't make another 2 weeks or 3 weeks of 7 p.m. calls. So what we'll be doing is I'll be sending an email out with the 2 videos of me talking, and then Friday evenings, we'll just do a recap a live recap. Okay, here's what we talked about on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's what we talked about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with the next lessons, with lessons 6 through 20. Okay. So basically it's a month of content for you guys. You've gotten the first week here. We've got 3 more weeks left for you guys to tap into. So get signed up, VIP or the gold access, and we'd love to have you there. All right. Any other questions before we let you go on this Friday evening, ladies and gentlemen? Great. Have a great evening. We'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.